How do you avoid re-traumatizing yourself when you're working through your stuff? Now, in a perfect world, we all get to regularly work one-on-one with a highly skilled, trauma-informed and experienced clinician or facilitator or whatever, but it's not a perfect world. And a lot of us are, trying to do this on our own or in different piece parts, different courses, techniques you're learning here on YouTube, etc. So what information, what tools and ideas can we equip ourselves with to help keep this productive and safe and not flooding and overwhelming? I think one of the most important first foundations is to never allow yourself to be pushed, including by your own mind, right? Things I've learned, oh, I should be going for it. Never allow yourself to be pushed into territory where you get any intuitive sense, even if it's just kind of a thought, like, I think there might be too much here. I think this might be an overwhelming subject or territory to go into. Always respect that voice, right? Be very careful, because this being YouTube and the internet age, there's a lot of self-help, there's a lot of motivational talk that can make those moments be like, no, this is what I got to conquer, this is what I have to move through. That's just resistance. It's not always just resistance, right? That intuitive sense that, oh, there might be too much here. Always respect that. Never allow someone to push you beyond what feels like this is a manageable and safe area to work with. That is very different than saying, oh, I'm just avoiding all discomfort in my life, or I'm just completely staying in my comfort zone. No, we're talking about not being overwhelmed. There's a distinction between that and looking at things and feelings that might be a little unpleasant and uncomfortable to look at. That's great, but there's a lot of gap between that and this will completely flood my nervous system to where I'm re-traumatized or unable to process. I hope that's clear. Related to that is when you are approaching working on yourself, you absolutely do not need to go into like the deepest, most painful things you can remember. I strongly encourage not doing that. I have a separate video on that got a lot of views relative to me, so I know it hit a mark for some people, because I saw them coming to me with this like, yeah, I'm just trying to go for, I'm just trying to be with it, I'm just trying to feel it. They get this from spiritual teaching, they get this from other places. That's not exactly appropriate for what they're trying to apply it to. And those distinctions are often not made. Right? So please do not say, I know there's this trauma here. I know there's this, painful breakup or this health thing that happened to me when I was younger. I know that's where it is. I need to go for it. I need to tap on that. I need to process that. You don't. You can get there when it's time. And the time may be tomorrow. You don't really know, but you never need to force it. Interestingly, what you can do, and what I highly recommend doing, is, it seems obvious when you say it, but whatever's coming up for you right now in your own life, right? You're annoyed at a seemingly small thing. That's all stuff that, by the very fact that it's coming up and not overwhelming you, means it's manageable and it can be worked through, worked with, and believe it or not, it's all connected. Right? So if you are a little annoyed about something that got rescheduled today and it's bringing up some layers of emotion, like, oh, they don't respect my time, or whatever it might be, I promise you, I'm saying tap because I do a lot of EFT tapping on this channel, and I'm a facilitator of that, for example. But whatever you use, you're talking to a therapist, whatever it might be, what's going on for you in the moment is gold, right? It contains so much information. So trust it. Do not think, well, that's too shallow, I need to go deeper. Right? Shallow is where you can build. Shallow is where you can build the muscle. Otherwise, it's like trying to go into a gym and just lifting the heaviest weight that you can't possibly lift and saying, no, but I'm going for it. I'm moving past that resistance and doing a difficult thing, but it's completely unproductive. Right? So no forcing. Don't go into the deepest things you can. And another thing that you can apply, right, as you're going through and you're doing emotional work, you're going through, therapy, many different techniques, whatever you're doing, right? As you're building more capacity, you're getting more comfortable. What you can start to use so that you're not overwhelming yourself is, let's say you're becoming comfortable and there's a particular subject of your life, for example, an ex-partner, and you know there's a lot of meat there, but every time you kind of go into that, it gets to be a bit much. It feels like you're running around in circles. Um, that could be some protective mechanism saying, yeah, there could be some trauma here that is too much to go into. What you can do is, with what comes up, for example, even talking or thinking about that ex-partner, you start to get that reaction like this is a bit much. There's techniques in EFT, for example, called the gentle techniques where, okay, I just thought a little bit about that subject. Okay, we can move away from that, but there's going to be some stuff that came up in the body, for example. Okay, my shoulders came up when I thought about them. Relax the thought of them. Don't try to go deeper into that. Just work with the physical sensation. Just, do somatic, right? Breathe into it, feel into it. If you do tapping, tap, not trying, again, not about the ex-partner, but just what am I feeling? What's going on in my body? It's connected. It's definitely connected because it came up when your mind went there. The other thing you can do is put a barrier in your mind, like almost using a visualization type technique where, oh, I think about my ex, it's too much. Well, what would help it feel more manageable, more safe, right? Put a wall behind it. Take that image or idea of this whole world with my ex and you put it in a container and you bury it deep under the ocean. And I can look at that and it brings the intensity down, but it's still going to bring up some emotions, some stuff. You tap on that, you work through that. That is a great way to ensure or to, let's say, greatly diminish the odds of you not going into anything too uncomfortable. And if you apply that in addition to, rule number one, which is the moment you sense anything is a little bit too much, respect that. Right? That's not quitting. Again, you can just go into something a little more gentle. Just say, okay, that's a bit too much. That's bringing up a lot. Let me just go into my body. Let me process the emotions that are coming up right now. The little bit of fear I'm feeling right now. Maybe there's some self-judgment or disappointment. Work with that. Work with what's already here and not overwhelming you without being pushed, right? And if you're working with someone one-on-one who knows what they're doing, you will feel safe and they will be checking in with you. And that's where you can kind of lean into some territory a little more. And sometimes things can really, break through because you've got that sense of your nervous system feels like, okay, we can move in here, but we've got that, we've got that rope, we've got that person here with us that knows they can pull us out, and that extra safety and capacity can help move things through. But that's not something you try to recreate or force. Just allow whatever your intuition is telling you, and you can still work with these things in these gentle ways to help work, which you're obviously interested in working through things, greatly reducing the chances of you overdoing it or reintroducing trauma. So I hope that helps. Remember what I said, that the ideal is, of course, working with someone one-on-one who's, an expert in that, but that's not always available. And I know we're all doing a bunch of stuff and experimenting online. So I hope this is valuable to you and gives you some insights and tools to help keep you as safe as you can while you're doing this courageous work you're doing to even explore working on yourself, working through your emotional pain and things that have happened to you. Hope it helps. You're not a repair project. Be kind to yourself. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.